I come here today in support of Trump. Say a prayer for Trump. Stand in solidarity for Trump. Let Trump know we have your back, and we're not going anywhere. We're staying right here. And even though we may be back in Florida or New Jersey, Bedminster, or wherever he is, he's blessed, and we're behind him, and we will be wherever he goes. We will be there.
They're your buddies.
I don't know anybody in Antifa. I'm Antifa. My dad was my uncle.
Okay, but do you agree with what happened? I don't. All they are is violent.
I don't know any of
This is United States of America, and we have a right to wear what we want to wear, vote for who we want to vote for, and believe what we believe in, as you do. Yes, I will.
The assassination attempt is creating a wave of sympathy for Donald Trump. Many people feel that this shows that there is an establishment that is out to get him. This shows that the very establishment that's making living standards in the United States go down and conditions get worse is also moving to stop Donald Trump from getting elected because he might stand up to them and fight for common people. This is going to put Donald Trump in a good position for the November vote.
Sounds like a good idea to me. Fire all those OPAs, everybody knows friends don't pay. Sounds like a good idea to me. Sounds like a good idea to me.
But also, not just Trump has lived here, other celebrities as well, like Derek Jeter had an apartment here for a few years. Cristiano Ronaldo sold his apartment in 2020 here. The princess, here's some great irony for you right here. In 2001, Donald Trump sold the 45th floor to Saudi Arabia for $4.5 million.
They're warmongers for World War III. And all they do to make their money, Russia, Russia. Can you say Russia 3 times? Well, you win the jackpot and you get a career automatic. And you don't have to worry about any kind of headaches about getting fired or because you're in the in crowd.
Well, the social media response to what's happened, it's not just people saying, what you quoted about how could you miss. There's also people claiming Donald Trump somehow staged this as if he would, want someone to shoot him so close to his own head and hit his ear, which is ridiculous. But that shows how polarized U.S. politics has gotten. And it shows that, there is violent hatred on the part of many Americans for Donald Trump and what he stands for, just like there is anger at this liberal establishment from many Trump supporters and many people in the red states that have been economically ruined. So there are big divisions in U.S. society. I think that social media tone, the fact that we have people openly celebrating or talking about violence against former presidents and elected officials, that shows how divided the United States really is.
Never! Look what happened yesterday! Oh man.
So TikTok, midnight 1, 2, 3. Midnight, we're gonna take this all the way to fucking November!
Dementia patient that we have here in the White House in Joseph Biden, and it is actually criminal what his wife has done. This is elder abuse. They're finally going to get rid of him, and I don't care who's going to run against Donald Trump. It's going to be a landslide victory for Donald. Trump 2024, baby. I love you, Donald, and I'll never forget in 1974 what your father did for my family. Israel loves you too, Donald.
Well, U.S. President Ronald Reagan, who Donald Trump has very much tried to emulate, his big line from the 1980 election was, "Are you any better off than you were 4 years ago?" And that very much applies to the situation we're in, because the inflation in the United States, the conditions in the country, the global atmosphere, everything that Biden said he was going to fix, that Donald Trump has ruined, Biden has made far worse. A lot of people are looking back at the Trump presidency, saying the economy was better, saying the international situation may not have been great, but it was way better. And if you look at it right now, I think we're in a situation where the Democratic Party is wildly unpopular, and Biden appears as incompetent, and there's probably going to be a sweep for Donald Trump. That is my prediction.
20,000 views.
MAGA.
What do you think happened yesterday?
I think that somebody who heard the word Nazi enough times finally decided to grab a gun and finish the job that everybody else was talking about doing. So starting with Madonna saying, let's blow up the White House, let's shoot them, let's put bloody heads, you know, we've heard all the pundits say it. So it was a continuation. Finally, one Democrat with enough balls, because it's very rare, they got very little balls, very little morals, said, fuck it, that's enough. I hate Donald Trump so much, I'm going to shoot him. So I'm surprised it took so long.
Well, what do you think the Secret Service wasn't doing their job protecting him?
I mean, the Secret Service, obviously, they failed. Their mission failed. You know, this is a failed mission.
And so, as far as the election is concerned, I think he's definitely going to win. I mean, we have no doubts. Unless, of course, something nefarious happens, like, you know, dead people come out and vote, illegals come out and vote, and it's a whole different story. We have yet to see. We still got some time before the election, but I think things are going to heat up a lot more.
We're having the conversation. That's her IQ right there. That's her average IQ. 1. 7 years I've been.
Well, I think the parallel to John F. Kennedy actually really does apply. And I think what's interesting is that a lot of Trump supporters would agree with that. I mean, John F. Kennedy was considered to be a liberal. He was considered to be soft on communism. And from the moment that John F. Kennedy took office, there was an allegation that he was a Russian agent, that he was working for the Russians, that he was a commie, and all of that led to him going to Dallas and getting assassinated. And there's many accounts of, you know, when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, the officers of the U.S. military and others cheered because they saw, you know, John F. Kennedy as being soft on communism. Well, Donald Trump is viewed by Democrats and accused by the foreign policy establishment of the United States of being soft on Russia and not an interventionist and not hawkish enough and sympathetic to quote-unquote dictators. That's what the U.S. media and the U.S. government calls any leader around the world who stands up to, you know, Wall Street power. They call them a dictator. Well, Donald Trump very much appeals to the desire of Americans to stand up to Wall Street power, and he went and negotiated with North Korea, and he wants a better relationship with Russia. He says he can end the war in Ukraine, and so there is a parallel. It's interesting because Kennedy was from the so-called left, and Donald Trump is from the so-called right, but both of them want a better relationship with countries around the world, and so there is a parallel there. I can see the parallel.
And Trump would do that. He said, first day, deportation, and drill, baby, drill. So we're energy efficient like we were before.
When you think about this year's election, or when you just think about your own life, what sorts of stuff keeps you up at night?
Well, I look at the price of gas. I have to buy food. I'm like, where is this going? Yeah, the stock market is an all-time high, but what's going to happen? You know, it's so inflated that I went through 2008 when the market went into the toilet.
Into what business?
Real estate. I sell houses. And, you know, you can even sell these houses. And a lot of banks break those houses up, and they still, and then they rent them, so they're going to put back on the market. But it's going to.
Carlson pointed it out. And I'll repeat it again and again and again because it's true. You know, variations on a theme from Dallas in 1963 when they took out JFK, and the final warning from General Eisenhower, and he ought to know because, you know, he was all caught up in it, right? The military, he said, beware the military-industrial complex. Eisenhower said it, not Gary from Staten Island. And he meant it. And he well knew exactly what he was talking about, didn't he? He sure did. And sure enough, they killed JFK. And the same forces are out to kill Donald Trump. And they almost got lucky yesterday, huh? What do you think? The same warmonger.
here at Trump Tower, just outside the building owned, the iconic site of the home of the former president and current frontrunner in the presidential election here in the United States. And the crowd has been swelling throughout the day. It's been growing, and it's a festive atmosphere out here. Folks are saying that this is a moment where Donald Trump is appearing to be unbeatable. They see the fact that the assassin's bullet stopped short of killing Donald Trump, but only winced his ear. They're seeing that as nothing short of the intervention of Almighty God. We had an opportunity to speak to some of the Trump supporters that are out here at Trump Tower in what is turning into a celebratory atmosphere here. People are celebrating that the former president and Republican frontrunner for the presidency in the upcoming election is still alive.
As far as the election is concerned, I think he's definitely going to win. I mean, we have no doubts. Unless, of course, something nefarious happens, like, you know, that people come out and vote, illegals come out and vote. It's a whole different story. We have yet to see. We still got some time before the election, but I think things are going to heat up a lot more.
I remember when Obama used to come to this city, you could not see Obama's face or body anywhere. Okay, when he used to come into the city, they used to have like tunnels and this and that. He would never expose himself. Trump comes out of that building every time he waves to the crowd. Obama, you've never seen his face in New York City in those 4 years. So I know that the Secret Service, I know some Secret Service agents personally, and I know they don't like the fact that Trump takes so many risks.
They killed JFK, and the same forces are out to kill Donald Trump, and they almost got lucky yesterday, huh? What do you think? The same warmongers. They're warmongers for World War III.
Well, the shooter has been identified. His name was Thomas Matthew Crooks. He was 20 years old. He had an AR-15 rifle, and explosives were discovered at his home in his vehicle after the shooting took place, after the attempted assassination. Now, it's important to note that many are looking on and asking, why was it that someone was able to get so close? The shooter was outside of the perimeter of the event, but yet how was he able to get so close and set up his sniper rifle? How was this able to happen? People are asking that question. And at this point, some eyewitnesses have given their version of what happened on the ground.
I'm at the Trump rally and somebody just started shooting. What just happened? Oh my God. Go.
CNN ran a headline saying Trump was injured, that Trump fell, and President Joe Biden refused to call this an assassination attempt. When he spoke, U.S. President Joe Biden, he would not call it an assassination attempt when asked by the press if it was an assassination attempt. And many of the Trump supporters are saying that at the very least, the heated rhetoric against Donald Trump, comparing him to Adolf Hitler, calling him a Nazi, linking him to Project 2025, which he has denounced, they're saying that at the very minimum, created an atmosphere in which violence could emerge. Here is some of Trump supporters at the event saying that they blame the media for what took place. So Donald Trump's campaign is going to continue as scheduled. He has an injury on the top of his right ear, but other than that, he will continue. People here at Trump Tower are jubilant. They view this as divine intervention, and they see this as a sign that he's unstoppable and that he'll soon be living in the White House once again.